All right, I'm back. Uploading the last part. So let's get started right away into part four. This is Flask by example learning path, and this part four, is implementing a Redis task queue. This part of the tutorial details how to implement a Redis task queue to handle text processing. So it looks like this one, like the other one, was updated more than a year ago was the last update. So there might be some problems here. We're on Python version, in my lab, I think 3.6, and they're on 3.8. I think that's fine. Now, there is a big difference, I think, between 3.5 and 3.6, or it might be between 3.6 and 3.7. But F strings, depending on your version of Python, might not work even if you're using Python 3. So to test that, you can say test equals test, and then say uh, uh, print F test. There we go. And if that doesn't work, you get an error doing that. You're going to have to check your version of Python. It'll say it as soon as you start it up. And if it's a older version than this one, obviously you can see it does work for 3.6.9. You're going to need to update your version of Python because a lot of examples use those F strings. Those are definitely a better way, I think, to do string substitution. It's a really clear, easy to read way. Um, so it's time to upgrade anyway. I mean, these are really old. I think the current version of Python is like 3.9 already. All right. So remember, here's what we're building: a Flask app that calculates word frequency pairs based on the text from a given URL. So step four. So in the last step, we added in the backend logic to scrape and then process the word counts from a web page using the request, Beautiful Soup, and Natural Language Toolkit, NLTK libraries. So I'll pull up the results of that. And I got it working so well last time that I went ahead and pushed it to prod, but I didn't realize that we weren't done yet with the abs. So the version in prod is unfortunately a bit too early. If our users start using that, they could potentially crash our environment if many users make big requests at once. So that's what we're working on now. I'm going to leave it up in prod because this isn't a real uh, this isn't an actual thing we're providing to customers. It's just a part of a tutorial. But I don't know. It's hard to just take something away from your users if they're happy with it. So I guess I would leave it out there, but try to get uh, the task queue as soon as you can. I mean, it depends on how fast it's going to mess things up. I mean, if it could be a matter of, an hour, it's all messed up. So if it's down, it's down. I would, if it went down, take the update out of prod and then say like under construction or something like that, because you don't want it to just be like. I think a better user experience is to just be told, hey, come back tomorrow, instead of like seeing this perfect, wonderful thing, trying to use it and it breaks. That's just a much worse experience than just being told, "Hey, try it tomorrow." Then you come back tomorrow, try it, and it's wonderful. That's a decent user experience in my mind. All right, so install requirements. So we're going to add some more tools here. We're going to add the Redis tool, the Python Redis tool, and RQ, which is a simple library for creating a task queue. I'm going to start by downloading and installing Redis from either the official site or via Homebrew. uh, brew install Redis. Once installed, we're going to start the Redis server. Okay, so we're going to have to do it from the official site. The tutorial is kind of assuming that you're using a Macintosh, a Mac uh, computer. I'm using Linux, so let's try to find the instructions for Linux. Let's go with the stable version. So it looks like, you know what? Let's just do it from source code. I think that's going to be a little bit easier. And then let's pull up the instructions actually in the virtual machine. That'll be the easiest of them all. I haven't refreshed since I last pushed to staging, so I'll do that first. There we go, just to make sure I'm on the same page with things. Leave up my production app as well. Okay, but let's go to, okay, here we are at part 3. Okay, so we want to go to part 4. Okay, here's part 4. Interesting. Okay, so before we do anything else, we got to get this command to work, and in order to get that command to work, we got to install it. If I run this command now without it being installed, we'll see a command not recognized error. Yep, so command not found. But, oh, so it looks like we can just install it like this. So I guess that's what I'd like to do. That might be the easiest way. So, uh, okay, so here we can just download it. You can install from source code. Here we go. So we can get it from the official Ubuntu PPA, which I believe stands for package something something personal package archive. So it's just a part uh, of Ubuntu. So let's just follow these instructions. I think that will be all we need. And I think because it's in Snapcraft, it'll probably be in the Ubuntu Software Center. But let's not install it from that. Let's install it from using the apt command. But I am curious just if it's here because it's in the snap. So nothing yet. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna find it. So that's fine. We'll just use these commands here. Okay, so now we've got a new place to pull software from. Um, this will have the version of Redis that we need. We're going to need to update it next and then install. Okay, so it looks like we've got some things configured multiple times, but I don't see an error message or anything, so hopefully it was just able to work that out on its own. Okay, so shoot. I've got targets that are now configured multiple times. I don't think I had to do that first command. Oh well, as long as it installs, that's not a big deal if it looks a little bit sloppy. What we might even be able to do is like sudo add apt repository. We can see if there's a sudo remove apt repository and then remove this repository now that it's installed. And then it might look cleaner again when we do the apt-get update command. So if I do a sudo apt-get update now, it's gonna look ugly. It's gonna say we've got um, uh, duplicates, and here's all the places it's pulling from. So we should see a duplicate here. I mean, this looks very similar. No, I don't see any duplicates, but I think if we remove this extra one we added here, um, that might resolve things. So let's try that and see if that command looks a little bit nicer. So we're going to do remove apt repository and then that. So sudo r maybe delete. Or no apt. Well, let's do star apt. Okay, so maybe it's the add apt repository command, but there's a switch that removes the. So let's try that. Add apt repository. So now, yeah, we can do a -r, and that will be a remove. Okay, and now sudo, we'll just do the same command. So it was, yep, command 67. And now hopefully things are a lot cleaner. We can see that extra PPA is missing. Personal package. Oh, but we still got things looking weird. Well, if that's the case, I'm going to add it back in case we need it later. Okay. Okay, so that looks ugly. I'm not sure what's going on there, but it doesn't seem to be breaking anything for now. So let's keep going. Okay, so let's see if we can get the server running. Yeah, so we got it to run, but it looks like, oh, it can't bind. So it looks like it was already running, or like, huh. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there. All right, but let's try adding some new requirements. And then we're not going to do this pip freeze command. We're just going to add these two to our requirements file without doing pip freeze. Okay, so we're skipping this command. Next part is setting up the worker. Let's start by creating a worker process and listening for queued tasks. Create a new file, worker.py, and add this code. Um, I'm tempted to just do the whole thing, but yeah, let's just do this. I'm running out of time here, so I hate to just I hate to do this to just copy and paste everything because it's like, what am I even doing? But it's like, basically I'm just assuming that the tutorial's written badly and that the code they give me won't work. Here we listened for a queue called default and established a connection to the Redis server on localhost 6379. Fire this up in another terminal window. Notice because we've got that special file or that special program set up, it's automatically set up like that. All right, so everything worked great. So do we have listening on default? Yeah, we do. Okay, so everything looks good. Now we need to update our app.py to send jobs to the queue. Add the following imports to app.py. Okay, we'll do that. Then update the configuration section. Queue equals queue, connection equals con, set up a Redis connection and initialized a queue based on that connection. So app equals flask name. Okay, so this whole part we gotta fix here. Move the text processing functionality out of our index route and into a new function called count and save words. This function accepts one argument, a URL, which we'll pass to it when we call it from our index queue. Okay, so we're gonna first add this code and then we'll be taking out some code later. So we'll add it at the end of the file, but before that part there. There we go. So now we've got at app route. Oh, it looks like we might have some duplicate stuff in here now. I'm not sure if I did this right. Yeah, we've got app route in there twice now, I think. Yeah, so app route index. Yeah, so this isn't supposed to be there. Uh, oh, take note of the following code. Okay. So I think they want us to remove, yeah, move the text out of our index route into a new function. This function. Okay, so I think they're giving us the entire app route now with the functionality removed. So we can remove the whole first instance of the index definition that belongs to the app.route decorator. Yeah, so we remove all of this code here and put it in its own function there. And then at the end, the example gives us what it looks like with that removed. So let me do a set number, and then let me do we'll do a D10, I think means delete 10 lines. Yeah, we'll just do that. I think I can delete 20 safely. There we go. And I can delete another 10 safely, I'm sure. There we go. And now it's a D3. Perfect. All right, looks good to me. Okay, so okay, note we need to import the count and save words function in our function index, as the RQ package currently has a bug where it won't find functions in the same module. So here we used the queue that we initialized earlier and called the enqueue_call function. This added a new job to the queue, and that job ran the count and save words function with the URL as the argument. The result _TTL equals 5,000 line argument tells our queue how long to hold on to the result of the job for 5,000 seconds in this case. Then we outputted the job ID to the terminal. This ID is needed to see if the job is done processing. Let's set up a new route for that. Okay, so this is where I'm going to end. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.